Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be baking a low hydration sourdough loaf. Perfect if you're just starting out or want a dough that's easier to handle. I'll walk you through each step from mixing to baking so you can get a crusty, flavorful loaf without the stickiness of a high hydration dough. We are starting with our active sourdough starter. Here I am showing you guys that mine is nice and active and it is not domed at the top anymore. It's pretty flat to the point where it will start falling soon. So we are going to put 100 grams of our starter into a bowl, and we are going to add 325 grams of water. This is where the low hydration comes in. Usually you add 350 grams of water or more if you want a higher hydration. This loaf will be 68% hydration, which makes your dough very easy to handle, and personally it is my favorite recipe. So now we add 500 grams of flour and 10 grams of salt. You are going to mix everything together until you get a nice and shaggy dough. I really enjoy mixing my dough with a spatula, with a silicone spatula, because when I use the dough whisks, I feel like I'm scratching my bowl and I don't want to accidentally have glass in my dough. So you are going to let your dough rest for about 30 minutes to an hour. You don't have to be precise with the time. As long as you're within that time frame, you are okay. Sourdough is not super complicated as many people make it seem. So here I am just stretching my dough from one side, pulling it over, folding it over to the other side, and turning the bowl and doing the same thing until I get around the bowl. And now you see me grabbing my dough and flipping it over, because when I started sourdough, I never touched the bottom of my dough. I just did the 4 stretches and that was it. But I felt like my dough was never strong enough. So here I grabbed the dough and I am doing some slap and folds. I am being very gentle with the dough, not too hard. You don't want to rip it either. So now I close it and I do the same thing after 30 minutes. You can see that the dough is starting to look a little bit smoother. It is easier to handle, is not as sticky. So you want to do the same thing we did before, grabbing the dough from one side and folding it over 4 times. And then we want to go ahead and grab the dough and start to do some slap and folds. And here you can see how smooth it looks. It looks amazing. I cleaned my bowl a little bit and then I let my dough rest for another 30 minutes, and you can already see my dough starting to rise. It's starting to look a little bit fluffy. It's starting to grow. Right now where I live, it is pretty warm, so my dough is fermenting a bit quicker. So I do these slap and folds once again. And once I'm happy with how my dough looks, I like to shape it into a ball. That way I can see how much it grows. And then I go ahead and let it sit on the counter for another 30 minutes. And we will do this process again. So now we're going to do our last set of stretch and folds. This is the 4th set. And I am just again grabbing the dough, folding it over, going all around the bowl 4 times, and then I am going to grab my dough and do more slap and folds. I am being very gentle with the dough. I'm basically just folding the dough into itself at this point because my dough is rising and getting nice and fluffy. I don't want to deflate all of the progress that we have made, as it has been bulk fermenting since we mixed our dough. Now you let your dough bulk ferment on the counter for a few hours until it has doubled in size, or until you see it nice and jiggly and airy. When you touch it, it should not be sticky to the touch. It should be able to pull away from the bowl easily without it being too sticky, and it should have bubbles everywhere. I like to use a glass bowl so I can see all of those bubbles. And as you can see here, my dough is coming off of the bowl very easily. I am tugging at the bowl a little bit just so it can come off faster, but the dough does come out on its own. And then we are going to shape our dough. I do not like to laminate my dough unless I am going to be adding inclusions here in this step. But since we are doing a classic loaf, I am just going to gently shape it, trying to keep all of those aerated bubbles and all of that progress we did while it bulk fermented. And then I let it sit for about 10 minutes. And now I am going to do the final shaping. I just flip it over and I fold the dough in half, and then I fold it again on the opposite sides. This is called the double caddy clasp. I've been enjoying doing this type of shaping lately, and it's very easy, and I feel like it gives my dough enough structure to keep it nice and tight. So now I am putting it into my banneton. You can see that I did not add flour to my banneton because this dough doesn't need it. I am just going to pinch it a little bit, and I am going to stitch it as well. You don't have to stitch it, but I just like to because I feel like it tightens my dough and it rises a bit more when I do bake it. I am just gently pulling the dough from one side towards the center, and you can see how much my dough tightens, and I do this to both sides. And you can see here how it looks a little bit lumpy, and then as soon as I do that, it just looks a little bit better. Like, it looks a little more symmetrical in a way. So I'm just going to pinch it a little bit, and now I'm going to put it in the refrigerator so it can do its cold proof. I like to cold proof my dough for 12 to 18 hours at least. I just feel like my dough rises better. You can see here that my dough isn't filling the banneton or touching the plastic wrap. And then in the morning after it's cold proof, you can see that the dough is domed at the top, it's touching the plastic wrap, and it filled up the banneton. So I love to see this. I love to see it in the morning, how much it grew, and it gets me super excited to bake it. So now I am just going to show you guys how to check if your dough is ready. You can do a poke test if you'd like. You just poke it, and there should be an indent, but it should come back slowly. If it comes back too fast, it's not ready. It is underproofed. So now I am going to use my bread sling, and I am going to score my dough with my bread lame. I like to make sure that my blade is pretty sharp before doing this. I like to do a simple score across the loaf. I do two, that way it can give me a cute little ear, which is something that most of us like on our bread. And I am just doing two little wheat stalks on the side just to make it look pretty. And now we finally bake our dough. You preheat your oven to 450 degrees, and then we are going to bake it for 30 minutes with the lid on and 10 minutes with the lid off. If you want it a little bit toastier, you can leave it a little bit longer. My oven just runs a little bit hot in the summer, so that's why I only do 10 minutes without the lid. And this is what our sourdough loaf looks like. It is so beautiful, and it came out so perfect. The crumb is so beautiful, and this recipe is perfect for beginners. I promise you, if you are just starting or you are having a hard time with a high hydration loaf, this is the perfect recipe. So I hope you guys give it a try and let me know what you think. If I had this recipe when I just started and the little techniques of doing slap and folds on my dough, I would have had a much easier experience. But thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one.